Hey, what's up? Niaje wasee, mi ni boy wenu the Reverend Bantu ama the Unlikely Reverend ama ukipenda pia unaweza nita the Rapster Pastor, but above all mi napenda God, and this is the Reverendly speaking. I've not spoken with you in a bit, but today I'm just turning down and to address the very current issues that are happening, especially the young people. I have a special heart for young people and children. Because I know I've been in the youth stage or in the youth group. I'm still a youth actually, and I understand the pressure that youth are going through. Understand that being a youth is not so easy because there are a lot of misunderstandings and so much. But again, in the pursuit to be understood, I think that we also have to take responsibility. And of late, the banning of schools, kuchoma mashule, na all this misbehavior that has been happening in school, whereby mastudia wana fight na mamode, mastudia wana take mode kwa makarao na vitu kama hizo. It is not one of the ways that you address your issues if you have something that is burning. If you have a burning issue, don't go burning schools. That is wrong. Yes, we know that coronavirus affected so much, and everybody's trying to make everything work and to bring things to order, and the means of education is trying to bring order into the system, and that has really caused a lot of pressure. And trust me, hii pressure is not just on students alone. Mastude kama mnanisikia, hii pressure is not just on you alone. First of all, you people don't pay school fees, you people don't buy uniform, most of you don't even buy your own clothes, most of you don't know what the real hustle is to make sure that life happens the way it should happen. And your parents has been going through a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. Some have even been depressed. Some have actually passed on because of the things that the coronavirus came with. And so we are well experiencing pressure. We cannot deny that it's there. There's a lot of homework, there's a lot of schoolwork to be done, and there's very little play, there's very little time for you to do your stuff and to maybe explore other things that you want to explore as a student, but you don't go around destroying things that you are not able to pay for. Remember that whatever schools that have been destroyed and burnt down, now there are over 30 actually that have gone down, both national and extra county and county schools, and the ones that are not even rated have been burnt down, and the losses are almost running into now billions. And this destruction has to be paid by parents. Parents are already struggling to put food on the table. Wewe unaban shule, wewe una light up shule because you want to go back home to do what at home? Your parents already ameshindwa kulipa school fees because things are so thick at home, yet unaban shule ati uko na pressure, unataka kurudi nyumbani kufanya nini? Your older brother hata ana job na alimaliza shule, wewe unataka kurudi home kufanya nini? Na uko na bahati, uko na school unaweza lala, uko na school unaweza oga, uko na school unaweza tumia stima, uko na school unaweza kula, uko na school unaweza pata a company that keeps you safe. Wewe unakimbia huku mtaani, place brother yako ambaye alifanya mtihani 3-4 years ago, amemaliza uni, ajapata job, anahantiwa na makarao because he's being suspected as a criminal, juu ameparara akae kama mtu ameenda shule. Can't you just think? Hii ni a story ya kuthink tu, ni kufikiria tu kidogo. This is something that needs common sense, but because some of you mnatumia mabangi, mnatumia madawa kwa shule and all that, and some of you don't just want to think, is the reason why you are putting the country and putting your parents above anything in such a mess. And now who is going to suffer? Because now your parents have to pay. Take for example the circular that is going around from Kakamega, whereby millions of shillings have been wasted in the fires that has been happening. And so out of the 2,200 students, each is going to give 9,000 shillings. That is more than the first school term or the second school term. And some of you have not paid, and I'm very sure half of you have not paid. How are your parents now going to pay for that money? And it's needed on the day you are reporting back to school. Some of your parents have more than 3 kids in the in secondary school. How are you going to do that? Can you just think and love your parents if you don't love yourself? Or can you think about your other siblings? what is happening is not right. And as much as we would want to sympathize with you, you should have also empathized with your parents and empathized with the system also, that things are thick and everybody is trying to find a way of making things to go back to normal the way they were before Corona happened. And so I am seriously disappointed in the young people. The elections are coming, and we are voting for young people to take leadership. But if this is the kind of people that we think are going to be out there in the next 4-5 years, it is really sad. And remember, people who are doing this, most of them ni watu wa form 3 and form 2s. Form 4s has really worked hard, and I don't think there's a time that a form 4 would want to or even have a thought of banning school. They're busy studying. And wewe uko form 2, wewe uko form 3, and ati umechoka na shule. Are you even thinking about your brother who is in form 4, your sister who is in form 4? Really? Honestly speaking, wazaaejo? Unafikiria mokoro, unafikiria buda, keroma hakuna nyumbani, hata ngata mna wengine nyinyi mnatoka maslam au kupata pocket money ya shule because haikuwa, and now you go about kusanya pesa kidogo ambayo ulikuwa nao kibai ngata ukilight up shule. Seriously, ni blanda unajiekea. Saizi ni ukweli, unajiona we ni bingwa, unatesa wase wako home sababu yako. Nyi watu watatu wanne ambao mlikama up na hiyo idea. Because started from one school, then wengine wakaanza. So unaweza sema we probably hujashikwa, uko at large, nobody even knows, you feel proud. But think about that at some point the system will catch up with you. Wale ambao umeshikwa, remember this is a criminal act. The system does not know that ulikuwa na pressure, ulikuwa na press, ulikuwa na depression, because the system knows and the system has put in place ways of how to vent out your pressure and your depression and whatever you're going through. So when you go against what the system has put as an amicable way of solving the issues, then what happens is you are a criminal and you're supposed to be treated as criminal. There's some of you who will go to approved schools. There's some of you who are supposed to go to Boston schools, and some of you are supposed to go to real criminal institutions, called prison. Because that kind of head is where you belong. I'm very sure that there's nobody who has never had a good counsel or a good teaching in schools that you are, hata kama hujaipata home, but in shule ushaisikia. Those parades, you're always taught, you're always encouraged to work hard, to be this and this, all the good values you're told. So ushaisikia. You cannot deny that. And also, I want to also speak to parents. Behavior is molded at home, then in school and church. And as much as we all agree that there are other students or the other children that just openly ignore the teaching of the parent, we parents also have really done a poor job in raising our children. When they are home during holiday, we don't even make them responsible. They are all over internet, they're all over town taking photos ambayo inakasidia aje. They're all over partying, and then they go back to school. They miss these things because we have not told them what they're supposed to do. We have not given them responsibility. And there's no freedom that comes without a responsibility. If somebody is given too much freedom, at some point you will have to rectify and to solve a problem. And so this is what is happening. So some of you parents, as you think and as you plan on how to raise the finance that are needed to reconstruct the time, the distraction that has happened, and to cover up the time that has been wasted when people are away, you also need to think and to rethink about how we raise our children. By God's grace, I'm a school owner and I deal with children, and I know what it means for children to be left alone for teachers to deal with. As young as 4-5 years, it's pressure. So you can imagine an old young man or young girl ambaye go through adole, and you never taught them how to behave when they were still children. that could be wangekunjwa angali wadogo, the way the Swahili people say. So as a society, we have failed. As the system, the government, we also have a part that we have failed in, because we need dialogue. Some things are not done na kifua because I'm this and that. And so the system also needs to take some responsibility. The ministry needs to take some responsibility in what is happening. But I think we are a sober community and we can do better than what we have done now. I ask this as a young man who is going through pressure and who is responsible enough and who understands what you students are going through. And I pray that we'll rise above this, because I know we can. Otherwise, God bless you so much, and take care of yourself and take care of each other.